All right, so stretching the truth, which you guys have to do by the end of the week, is about personification and hyperbole. We talked about personification. You have notes on them. This is personification, something that you've been very familiar with. You've done for years now. But just to review, up here, it gives you what personification is and a hyperbole. So personification is giving human characteristics to something that is not human. For example, the statement, the ocean waves danced and played on the beach. Dancing is a human activity. It's like the verb, dancing. But when the ocean waves come in on the shore, it kind of looks like they're actually dancing. So that's a perfect personification that actually makes sense. They don't really dance, but it looks like they are. Hyperbole is using an exaggeration for effect. For example, the statement, I am so thirsty, I could drink a river, exaggerates the speaker's thirst by suggesting he or she could drink an entire river. Obviously, that would be impossible, but you're exaggerating to truly show the reader how thirsty you really are. So the directions for 1 through 5 say that you just have to label whether one is P for personification or H for hyperbole. So you have to read them all and then label it. I was so angry I could have spit fire. Okay, now humans actually can spit, but we can't spit fire, all right? Is the fire actually doing something like that is human in this instance, or are we exaggerating as to how angry we felt? And we are actually exaggerating because no one can be that angry. You can actually do that, but we're trying to exaggerate for effect. So this would be a hyperbole. All you have to do is write H. Number 2, the flowers laughed and wiggled as the wind ran through and tickled them. Gosh, this is a lot of personification, okay? Because in this case, flowers laughing and wiggled. Flowers aren't actually alive. They can't do that, okay? That's a human characteristic to laugh and wiggle. And then wind running is also, and tickling are also objects like flowers and wind doing something that humans would do. So that sentence is full of personification. This lamp weighs a ton. Again, this is just like me talking about, how heavy something is by exaggerating. There is no lamp that weighs 2,000 pounds. Someone is just saying this to get their point across that it is extremely heavy. So again, that's a hyperbole. I'm so tired I could sleep for 10 years. Now, in this case, no, non-living object or non-human object is doing something that's human-like, and we're exaggerating how tired someone is, saying they could sleep for that long. That's not physically possible. So we're exaggerating. Spring dresses the trees in new colorful clothes. This is a perfect example of personification because they're saying that the season of spring actually dresses the clothing. And spring can't really dress anybody. It just makes the buds pop out on the trees. But this is a more creative way of saying that. So personification. Okay. Now, 1 through 3 are actually asking you to write your own examples of personification. And 1 through 3 down here are having you write your own examples of hyperboles. So creating your own examples is a lot more challenging than just labeling them. But like I said in class last week, if you're trying to think of examples of personification, you have to think of an object. So you can picture in your mind just any household object. Maybe it's something that's really close to you, and pick a way that you can turn that object into a person, like making them do something that a person would do. Hyperboles are a little bit different because you're going to pick ways of exaggerating to cause effect. So maybe how heavy something is, maybe how long you waited, how thirsty you are, how tired you are, any kind of like feeling or emotion there. Can think of a way that it can be exaggerated for effect. So I'm going to skip down here to the hyperbole, and I'm going to give you an example of one that is a feeling that you can get. So I'm going to be down here for number 1. I'm trying to hold my camera and write at the same time. Okay, so this one's really sad, but we're saying that I was so sad I cried a river on my pillow. And everybody can relate to that. You know that just means that when someone was so sad, they were crying a lot and crying up to the point where they created a whole river. All right, so a hyperbole there, I went with a feeling. So it's always good for you in number 2 and number 3 to think of either a feeling or an emotion and relate it to, find a way that you could exaggerate. Maybe, seeing something. I've heard you guys say before, there were 1,000 police officers out front, so we knew something bad was going on. Well, you're exaggerating to just kind of get the point across that there were a lot of police officers outside. I knew something whoops. Can't write this and hold the paper and the video camera. I knew something was happening because I saw thousands of policemen outside. Okay. So that's always a perfect example of an exaggeration for maybe like when you pull over and you see policemen or maybe firefighters or something. Sorry, I'm a really bad camera person, doing my own cameras. But so these are really great exaggerations for, maybe seeing something or a feeling or emotion. So I would say on number 3, maybe pick an emotion or a feeling that you've had and find a way to exaggerate about it. Now, when you're writing 3 examples of personification, you have to think of like 3 common household objects. So I am thinking of my desk chair at school, and I'm gonna come up with something that my desk chair does that humans could do. And my desk chair, it makes a lot of noises. It's kind of squeaky. I probably need to put some oil on it. So I'm gonna say, my desk chair So my desk chair groans every time someone sits down. And it's not actually groaning, that's something that people can do, but I'm making my chair act like a human by saying that it's groaning. So you need to pick 2 objects at home, maybe something that is, my pencil danced across my desk, or as I wrote my essay, or you could say, my alarm clock yells at me every morning when it's time to wake up. Any type of household object or item acting like a person is is what I'm asking there on number 2 and number 3. So I hope that this helps you guys complete this worksheet, and that gives you guys a little bit more practice of, figurative language that helps make your writing much more creative. If you guys have any questions at all, just let me know.